Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Niners Now podcast. We normally come on Fridays, but we decided to come on live today on game day. It is Monday. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas from us to you guys. What a Christmas indeed. Who's ready to unwrap the present of a victory over the Ravens? How are you doing today, Jess?
I am doing well. Merry Christmas and happy game day, faithful.
Happy game day. We're going to talk 49er football. We're going to talk Raven football. We're going to talk Christmas, presents, what was underneath the tree for myself, for Jess, for you guys right after this.
The San Francisco 49ers are going to kick ass and take names this season, and it all starts with head coach Kyle Shanahan.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Let's say hi to the crew. We got Jimmy Perez in the house. What's up, Jimmy? Merry Christmas to you, my friend. We got Don Dotson in the house. How you doing? Merry Christmas to you, your hubby, Jayla and Ariel. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. We got Daniel Barry Sports in the house. What's up? Welcome, channel. So, first and foremost, Jess, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was amazing. Got a lot of cool 49er stuff. I'm just ready for this game. How about you?
Same here. It's the last present to be opened. I don't know about how everybody does their presents, but in the Latino community, for the most part, we open up our presents it's actually Christmas, but we do it at midnight on Christmas Eve. So technically it's Christmas because it's the 25th at midnight, but we do it on the 24th. We open up our presents and we celebrate the gifts. We celebrate family. We celebrate love. And we always convey to the grandkids. I always tell the grandkids that opening up gifts is the greatest thing in the world, but there's nothing greater than love, than family, than support for one another. And Christmas, when it comes to love, should be every day. But today is the last present to be opened. And that present is a victory over the birds. We got to put the birds on the barbecue pit and get this victory. How confident are you feeling about this game, Jess?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I like the fact that it's at home. Levi's is going to be rocking. It's Christmas night. The players are pumped. I'm sure, they got all their Christmas stuff out of the way and they're focused and, they're ready to go. And I know the fans will be ready to go as well. How about you?
Yeah, I think Levi's is going to be rocking. I think we're going to see multiple Santa Claus there and a lot of elves there right behind Kyle Shanahan. These elves are going to be working on the game plans, which we like to call coaches. But the greatest elf that I want to see today, besides Kyle Shanahan as Santa Claus, I want to see our defensive coordinator, step up more than usual today. We were really going to need to get better in the tackling area. We got a little preview of not Lamar and Colin Murray, but Colin Murray was able to get out of the pocket a little bit, extend plays. That's something. We had 16 missed tackles against the Cardinals. That's a no-no. I understand that defenses get tired. It's a long season, and there's fatigue that comes into play. But those missed tackles just need to get corrected. Hopefully, it got corrected. When they set up to play the Ravens, they corrected this. How important is the bye this year for our San Francisco 49ers to have, to regroup, to come together again? Kind of like we did with our first bye. We were kind of falling short, three straight losses. We kind of got together, we figured things out, and we came out booming. We haven't lost a game since. How important is this bye to you, Jess?
To discuss the missed tackles, that's something that definitely has to be cleaned up. And I know Fred Warner alluded to that in his press conference. They just, against Arizona, we weren't too disciplined. We have to be more disciplined against Lamar Jackson if we're going to win this game. And as far as the bye goes, the type of team we are, we play bully ball. So this bye would be huge for us to get. With a win tonight and then a win against Washington, we secure that number 1 seed, and we'll be ready to roll. But we gotta take care of business tonight.
Absolutely, definitely have to take care of business, and I think we will. I think the 49ers know what's at stake. The Dallas Cowboys lost yesterday once again on the road. Let's give a hand applause for that. Yay! Now the Eagles turn to lose today. If that happens, way much less pressure on the Niners. I mean, the Niners are already 1 game up. This game, they don't have to win this game. They're going to win it. Don't get me mistaken, but they don't have to win it. Listen, anything can happen on any Sunday. I understand. The Commanders can have a fluke of a day and win, but I think the Niners can sleepwalk and win the Commanders next week. I mean, the Commanders are terrible. And then we got the Rams, and the Rams are fighting for something this year. That's going to be interesting. Wouldn't it be nice to take out the Rams and cut their throats and say, you thought you had hope, but we kicked your ass and you're out of the playoffs? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
It would be nice, just to say, you know what, denied.
Denied. What's up, Big Jason in the house? We got John in the house. Welcome, guys. We got Robert Escalante in the casa. What's up, sir? Welcome, sir. Just came here to say the Raiders still suck. I'm out. Right on, bro. Hey, congratulations to the Raiders, bro. They still suck. I understand. But that was a nice win to go into Arrowhead and pull out the win against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Patriots. Real quick, not to tell away from the Niners, but wow, the Chiefs are not the same this year. Patrick Mahomes has nobody. He's afraid to throw the ball. He don't trust his receivers. This is the Patrick Mahomes I had never seen in pro football. Have you? I don't know if you've seen the game or the highlights, but wow. What's up, Alfonso?
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do it all on himself and putting it all on his shoulders, but it's not working. I mean, there's clearly an obvious disconnect on offense for them.
Well, the lack of receivers and receivers drop, and the ones they do have drop the ball. It doesn't boost confidence for Mahomes. People that ever play football or study football know that there has to be a trust between the quarterback and the receivers. There's a timing factor. You got to anticipate the throws. You got to believe that your receiver's going to be there, and you're going to trust your receiver. When you don't have that trust, you hesitate to throw the ball. You hesitate. There was receivers open today for Patrick Mahomes, and he hesitated to throw the ball because he was afraid that something would happen. And once that comes into play, mental, it really can take a toll on the quarterback. This is what I love about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy completely has faith in his receivers. He throws the ball. You can clearly see the ball out of his hands, clearly before the receiver even makes his cut. And that just shows how much they trust each other. And today is going to be the day. I hate the social media, the so-called experts. They don't want to credit Brock Purdy, Jess. Is it because he's a 7th-round pick? Is it because they don't want to be wrong? I think that's what it is, Jess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Everybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I just think, personally, these so-called experts like Wright and others, they don't want to accept they were wrong on Brock Purdy. And so they continue to stand on their false narrative, and their credibility is starting to be questioned. Others have started to change their perspective from we don't believe in Brock Purdy to he's a game manager to, hey, this guy could be the real deal. Why do you think this whole last 2 weeks, it was Dak Prescott leading the race for the MVP. It can't be Brock Purdy. And then Dak Prescott has a crappy game against Buffalo. Now it's Brock Purdy again. And then Lamar has a good game that last week. Now Lamar is in the race with Brock. What has Lamar done this year to impress you that he should be in the same category as Brock Purdy, Jess?
I think the simple fact that he's just tried to extend plays, I think that's what it boils down to. I could be biased with this, but, I think Brock Purdy and CMC deserve the MVP over Lamar Jackson. I feel Brock Purdy doesn't get the credit because, he was picked at Mr. Irrelevant. If he wasn't, he'd be getting the credit. And, not only do the national media, kind of just say, what, I was wrong. A lot of content creators are the same way. And, I don't know. It's a little ridiculous to me. I mean, this kid he's 23 years old. He's led this team up until this point. We have a chance to be the number 1 seed, first round bye. It's just amazing to me.
It's ridiculous, yeah. I just want to real quick welcome David Cantu. Welcome. We got David McNiner in the house. We got Richard in the house. How you doing, sir? Welcome. He says, Merry Christmas, bro. Saludos from Soledad. All the way from Soledad representing. Let's go. Welcome to the chat, Richard. Nice to have you here. Yeah, man, I hear you. Listen, at this point, me personally don't care what people think. I don't care if Brock Purdy does get the MVP or doesn't. I would love for him to get it for the recognition that he deserves. But I don't even think Brock Purdy cares. I think Brock Purdy is focused on the game ahead. He's focused on the price. He wants the Lombardi trophy. Today is going to be a great game because it is a battle between the best team in the NFC going against the best team in the AFC. Both teams are physical. They're not finesse. They're physical. They hit hard. They play hard. And we can probably get a great preview of a Super Bowl matchup in Vegas this year today. I know the NFL planners did not plan it this way. And if they did, kudos to them. But to get a game like today, 2 teams, 11-3, leading their pack in the prospective conference, coming together, both physical teams, this late at the game to watch on Christmas. Can you ask for anything better than that, Jess?
No, I mean, this is definitely probably the game of the year. Like you said, it's, the number 1 team in the AFC, the number 1 team in the NFC. And it's going to be a battle tonight of, two good offenses, two good defenses, and may the best team win. And I feel the Niners get that dub tonight. 31-21, Niners by 10.
Niners by 10. I love it. So they're right now. I think they started at 5.5 points. They went down to 5, and now I believe they are at 6. Let me see if that went back down or not. They were at 6-point favorites against the so-called disrespected. Oh my goodness, they're 6.5-point
Wow.
favorites against the. What is Vegas? What do you think Vegas is trying to do here? Do you think they know that the Niners are gonna? Because Vegas never loses. Let's be honest. The house always wins. They make money for a reason. Do you think the Vegas is thinking we want people to pick the Ravens and put money on the Ravens to cover, not necessarily to win, but to cover the spread? Because people that don't know about the spread understand that. Those that do know, then I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to you because you know, but those that don't know, when you pick the spread, it's not the Ravens can lose, but the Niners don't cover. For example, if the Ravens lose by 3, and you bet on the Ravens, you still win. You still win because the Niners didn't cover. The only way you can lose if you pick the Ravens is if the Niners win by 7. So Vegas is trying to trick people to pick the Ravens because they know the Niners are going to blow them out or at least cover? Or do you think they want what do you think that Vegas is thinking process in that putting the Niners at 6-5 favorites over a team that is very physical? They have Lamar and they're 11-3 as well.
The fact that they're 6.5-point favorites, it speaks volumes, really. I mean, we're at home. We're the number one team in the NFC, probably the number one team in the NFL. And like you said, the house always wins. So it'll be interesting to see as far as the spread goes, what happens. I mean, I did place a few bets. So we shall see, and hopefully I win.
There you go. So yeah, exactly. I think that Vegas knows something. Now, again, the football is a weird shape. It's not round. The ball can bounce in a weird way. Things do happen. But Vegas looks at how the teams have been playing. Now, a lot of fans don't follow the Ravens if you're Niner fans. If you're the casual fan that don't really watch all the games, but just watch your Niners, nothing wrong with that. You're fired up for your Niners. That's great. But those that watch all games, I like to watch. I watch every single game. I have the NFL.com pass where I can watch every game in, 40 minutes or less, which is condensed, which is nice. I like to watch how players are playing. And those that don't pay attention, they look at, 11-3 Ravens, right? 11-3 Niners. But what they don't see, they just see the record. They don't see how they got there. A lot of games have been won by fluke, or a lot of games should have went other ways, but went the Ravens' way. How physical are the Ravens? How good is their offense? Are they explosive? We know their defense is great, but how well is Lamar playing this year? And a lot of that is taken into consideration when Vegas decides to put the point spread. The Niners' offense just has been out of its mind. When we have all players healthy, this Niner offense is a well-oiled machine. It reminds me of the Steve Young era. It reminds me of the Joe Montana time when I used to watch football. Remember, I'm an old guy. I started watching football since 76. So wow. I watch bad football. I watch good football. And I was, in the 80s, it was like everybody used to always say the Niners offense are unstoppable. They're great. For many years, all we heard about was how great, and nothing wrong with that, but how great our defense, how great our defense, how great our defense, how great our defense. But our offense wasn't quite there. It was okay, but it wasn't quite there. Now they are explosive. They can put 7 points on a blink of an eye. Do you guys remember the Steve Young Niners in the Super Bowl against the Chargers? For those that watched it, raise your hand. I watched it. I was actually there live watching it. I'm not trying to brag, but it was something that I did. And at Joe Robbie Stadium, that's what it was called at the time, Miami. Now I don't know what it's called. But listen, before when they do all the fireworks and all the everything, there's smoke in the air. Before that smoke can settle into the stadium, we were already up 3 touchdowns. That's boom, boom, boom. That's how fast we were hit. This offense is that explosive, Jess. This offense is that explosive. We got playmakers. I understand the Ravens have Lamar Jackson, great quarterback. You got to keep him contained. But outside of Lamar Jackson, who are you afraid of? Now, if you look at the Niners offense, who are you going to stop? You got multiple players to stop. How are you feeling about your offense this year? The way that they've been putting points. How is that feeling of being a Niner fan? Enjoying a 45-point score, 42, all these high scores. How does it make you feel as a fan that not only is your defense amazing, but your offense is probably better than your defense?
Yeah, I would say our offense is definitely better than our defense. They've been clicking on all cylinders, and they definitely need to click on all cylinders tonight, and I believe that they will. Who do you want to cover? Do you want to cover Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle? Unfortunately, Jawan Jennings is not playing. He's still in concussion protocol. But hopefully we see, Ronnie Bell, not back as a kick returner, but as a receiver. It's pick your poison, really. I mean, with the Ravens, I know I think their first running back went down the beginning of the season with an Achilles.
Yeah, the rookie Mitchell, the rookie running back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then their Mitchell, their running back, went down with torn ACL, I believe. Mark Andrews isn't playing. So they do have OBJ, but you know what? We've faced him in the past. But it's just, we just have to be on top of our game. We have to play the 49er way tonight.
Absolutely. Listen, Andrews is out. Their young stud rookie running back got hurt, and he's out. But maybe it's just me. I like to play the best on the best. This is me. I wish Andrews was playing. I wish the rookie running back was playing. Yes, does that make it a little bit harder to win a game? Absolutely. But I've been a firm believer, if you want to be the best, you beat the best at their best ability and at their strongest point. Now, you do play who you play, and whoever's healthy is healthy and whoever's not. I understand all that. And the Niners win today and they do their thing. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, I wish. No, but I do like it when two teams come together and they're at their strongest, because that is complete dominance if you do win it in a dominant fashion. So I'm always been a guy that loves to see teams play each other at their best and not injuries. But injuries is part of football. That does happen. You got to do your thing. Let me ask you, Jess, who do you want to be your offense? Or who do you need to be your offense MVP in this game today?
I think I think Deebo Samuel.
All right, talk to me.
I think that he really has to, step up tonight. I think the obvious answer is Christian McCaffrey, but I'm going to go Debo here. Because with Christian McCaffrey and and Debo sprinkled in there, I think our offense is definitely going to be hard to stop tonight. Normally, I would say George Kittle. I love me some George Kittle.
You do.
I
You
think
could have fooled me.
I do. I know. It's a shock to everybody. I'm sure he'll be, I'm sure he'll be sprinkled in there as well. But I think Debo has to have a big game tonight.
I like that pick. I do. I love Debo to have a great game, and I think he will. But my MVP is going to be CMC. CMC needs to get that game run going. You got to, that it sets up the play action. Kyle Shanahan is comfortable making his calls with the run. You got to establish the run in order to do what you want to do against this defense of the Ravens. So I expect Christian McCaffrey to have a great big day. Need him to have a great big day in this game and dictate and set the tone for this game. Pound the ball, pound the rock. Physically just push these guys all over the place. Their pass rush, the Ravens' pass rush, is not as good as ours. They tend to do a lot of blitzes. In order for the Ravens to get to the quarterback, they have to blitz. They don't get home, for the most part, with just the 4. If you watch Ravens, if you study Raven football, they need to blitz to get to the quarterback. Brock Purdy thrives. Yeah, you heard me right. He thrives against the blitz. It is crazy to even say that, right? To even say that a 7th round, you know what? I'm tired of saying the 7th round. Who cares? It's hard to say that a quarterback of any round can thrive under pressure. And Brock Purdy thrives under pressure. And when you bring in the blitz, guess what? You open up the backfield for Kittle, for Ayuk, for Debo. And on the other side, the Niners don't have to blitz. They have the luxury of blitzing, but they don't have to blitz. They can send their front 4, and their front 4 can be disruptive. Now, we will be without Armstead. We know he's out. But Hargrave is I believe he'll play. When it's questionable, most likely you're going to play. So we're going to have, and let's be honest, for those that don't like him or don't really care, I understand. But Kinlaw has been playing good football this season. Since he's not the starter anymore, Jess, and he's now the backup, the pressure's kind of off of him. He's feeling healthier than he's felt in his whole career. I can expect him with a combination of Givens there next to Hargrave and do their thing. But as long as we have our 2 boys on the outside, Nick Bosa and I forgot his name. Help me out here. Chase Young, thank you. Sorry, Chase Young. On the outside, we will bring that pressure. One of the things that I've been hearing a lot during the week is that it's amazing how people really, sacks are beautiful. We want sacks. Absolutely do we want sacks. They are beautiful, but it's the pressures for me. It's the chaos. It's how much do you make the quarterback uncomfortable in the field. You make him to throw before he wants to throw. Chase Young had a sack, I believe, when he first came in. He hasn't had one since, or he's kind of went down in the sacks department. People are like, "Oh my God, he's not what we thought he was going to be." Oh my God, he's this. He is doing his job to a T. This defense is completely better, way better with Chase Young in it than without him. Just because he's not getting to the quarterback doesn't mean he's not doing his job. If you watch the tape, you'll see that he's helping the Hargraves, he's helping the Givens, he's helping the Kinlaws he's helping the all the other players to have a good game because he's being double teamed. And those are the things that people need to notice when you watch the tape. It's nice that he gets a sack and everybody loves that, but it's not always the sacks that determine how good a player is. So I say all that to say this, to ask you, Jess, what has you been your impression personally of Chase Young so far on this team?
I think he's definitely helped the defensive line. And like you said, like maybe the sacks haven't been there, but you know what? Like the quarterback hits, the hurries, have been there. And he definitely frees up like somebody like a Nick Bosa, an Eric Armstead, a Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw. And the fact that Javon Hargrave is most likely going to play tonight is huge. Because we may not have both Hargrave and Armstead, but just having one is definitely a big deal. And like you alluded to, as Javon Kinlaw, playing really well, and I see him having a big game tonight as well.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I'm excited. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for this game to start to get the feel of how the game's gonna go. Let me ask you, not that I wish this to happen, not that I want this to happen, but let's say, God forbid, we fall behind 10 points against the Ravens. Are you confident in Brock Purdy to be able to lead this team to a win? Or are you start panicking if we fall behind 10 points? Honestly.
Being behind by any amount sucks, whether it's 3, 7, 10, 14. But I definitely believe in this offense, that we can come back, and definitely like this defense, like holding their own. I mean, I think we've played a bend but don't break type of defense these past few weeks, and I look for that tonight. But they definitely have to stay in their lanes. They have to be disciplined, because you know what? We have somebody in Lamar Jackson who may not run around like he used to back in 2019, but you still have to be aware of it.
Yeah, when you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, normally it should be 11 on 11, right? So normally it's 10 on 11. But when you have someone at the stature of Lamar Jackson, you truly have 11 on 11, and you got to count for him, because on a 3rd and 8, you have everybody covered. The secondary is covering all the receivers. The linebackers is doing their job. And you're like, we're going to send a pass rush. And all it takes is for Lamar to escape. A little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and he's gone for a first down. It's really hard to defend. And I know when that happens, a lot of times people get frustrated with Niner defense. Like, what are you doing? People don't realize how hard it is to defend a mobile quarterback. Now, like Kyle Shanahan said, and a lot of Niner players, defensive players said, and it's so true, Lamar Jackson will get his. What do they mean by that? He's going to get his runs. He's going to get his first downs. It is initially hard to stop him, but you got to contain him. You got to keep him out of the red zone. You got to keep him out of the end zone. That's what your whole point should be. He's going to get his. He's going to get his explosive 12-yard run. He's going to get his 7th-yard run for a first down. Those are hard to stop, but you want to continue. You want to keep him out of the red zone, specifically keep him out of the red zone. And I think the Niners will do that. I think the Niners linebackers. Now, this game is interesting, Jess. You got arguably great linebackers play here on both sides. Normally, the Niners play a team that doesn't have good linebackers. The Ravens have Roquan Smith, which I still don't understand why the Bears gave up on him, but that's the Bears for you. And they have this other kid, I forgot his name, but he is playing as good as Greenlaw is playing. As good, not better. That's going to be a little bit harder on Kittle. I'm not saying Kittle is not good enough to beat them. But but they're going to do a lot what we do to other teams. Who do you think is going to have, not who you want, obviously we're Niner fans, but who do you think is going to have a better game, Roquan Smith or Fred Warner?
I'm going to go with Fred Warner here, only because, against Arizona, he missed a good amount of tackles. And if anyone is going to get this defense together, if anyone is going to, correct the mistakes and, lay it all on the line, it's going to be Fred Warner. So I look for him to have an awesome game tonight, flying all over the place like he normally does. Him and Dre Greenlaw, I think are going to be the X factors in this game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a very, very good point. I love that point you made, Jess. Fred Warner is a very prideful man. He takes a lot of the blame on himself, even when it's not his fault. He did miss a lot of tackles. When he watched the film in Niners camp and seen the missed tackles in front of his teammates, he is a natural leader. He wears the C on his chest. He puts the team on his back. He knows what he did wrong, and he's going to fix it. Is he going to be perfect? Probably not. Who is? But I guarantee you the Fred Warner we saw last week, we're not seeing this week. We're seeing a better version of him because he puts in the work. And Greenlaw is going to be pounding. Now, one of my things that I'm kind of nervous, I'm not nervous about who wins or who loses. Both teams are physical hitting teams. My concern and worries are most of my concerns and worries, and what I want more even than a win is to come out healthy. That's what scares me because both teams are physical. Okay. It's one thing when you play another team that is finesse and you're physical and the other team player shies away from you. But it's different when you get two players, instead of one shying away, the other one puts pressure towards you. It's like playing chicken with two cars. You know what I mean? Or what are those called? Those animals they hit each other with the horns. I forgot. I don't know if they're bulls but you see those big old oaks animals that they go against each other. They put their head down and they hit each other both with the horns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No matter, there's never a winner, if you will, when that happens. Because even if one has a better shot than the other, they both get roughed up. This is where I'm praying, and just keep our prayers for both teams. I'm not going to be selfish and just pray for my team. I want both teams to be healthy. I don't want nobody to get hurt. And I pray that we can come out of this, obviously with a win, but most importantly with health.
Yeah, I that's a huge thing, to come out of this game healthy. Obviously, like we clinched the NFC West, we're playoff bound. The number one seed is we're looking forward to that. But we have to get out of this healthy and that's the main thing tonight.
Yeah. If we win today, and I say if, I'm confident, but I'm also realistic. Things can always happen the other way. Otherwise, I would be picking lottery tickets and I'll be winning every damn week. If we win today and we go and beat the Commanders next week, now we don't have to worry about week 18. We don't have to worry about the Rams. We can rest our players. Now, this is a question that I want to ask you, Jess. Two questions. One, if we don't play our starters that week, that's 1 week, and then we have the bye, that's 2 weeks. Sometimes you don't want your players to rest too much or not play ball too much because this is not the NBA. This is not baseball where you have multiple games to win a series. Okay? You can be the best team and lose, and you're out on a given Sunday, right? So the Niners can be in there with the best team. They can go play the 7th seed or 6th seed and just lose. So the first question is it wise to rest players against the Rams and now rest them for 2 weeks? That's question number one. Question number two, Jess, do you want the Rams to go to the playoffs, or do you want to kick their ass and make sure they don't go in and start your players? It's kind of entwined together, so it might be one big question, but I'll separate them into two.
I just think that, as far as resting players for 2 weeks in a row, I think that's a bit dangerous. I'm all for limiting reps. Because I really, knowing Kyle Shanahan, he may rest a handful of players, but I don't think he's going to rest every single starter. Because at the end of the day, I think, this team wants to go out and win. So, we're not going to rest every single starter just to potentially lose to the Rams. Because that's a team that, yeah, we do own them, but you don't want to see them in the playoffs, really. Because, Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. But I just think, limiting reps, as far as Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, CMC, George Kittle, I think that'll, be more beneficial as opposed to resting them and potentially getting that first round bye, because you don't want to rest them, for 2 weeks straight, because I don't think that'll mesh well.
Absolutely. And I'm going to keep it 100% real. I don't like the Rams. I don't like Seattle. Don't like the Cardinals. They're within our division, but I love football. Okay. I'm not one of the guys that is a trash talker and it's, F the Rams, F this, and don't acknowledge good players when they're good players or when they're doing well. The Rams are a dangerous team right now. They're playing good football. I want to give a shout out. I know you guys are probably going to hate me. This is a Niners show. What are you doing? But I love football. I want to give a shout out to Sean McVay. He is coaching his ass off. Now, he's not better than Shanahan. Don't get it twisted. But he's good at what he's doing. He has a bunch of rookies playing good football. Now, they hit on Nakua, the receiver. That kid is going to be a freaking menace. You're going to know him for years because he's going to give the Niners a lot of trouble for years to come. That kid is special. The running back, Karen Williams, is not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. He's pretty good. They hit on that. And they hit on a couple of defensive players as well. But you don't have to be great. You just have to be hot. The Rams are hot right now. The two teams they're playing, besides the one team they're playing, I don't forgot who they're playing next week, but there's not a big team they're playing. They've beaten some good teams. And don't forget, they went into Baltimore. Now, they did lose in overtime, but they took that game into overtime against the Ravens, who we're playing tonight. Okay? And lost by 3 points or 2 points or something like that. That is pretty crazy. And what Jess said earlier, they do have Matthew Stafford. Now, once Matthew Stafford is out of the league or he gets hurt, that team goes all the way down fast. Because you can have a great receiver like Nakua, but if you have nobody throwing to him, it doesn't matter. So as long as he is upright and they have Aaron Donald on the opposite side, they're pretty good. So I would love to see them not in the playoffs because I know we've beaten them every time we play them in the regular season, but the playoff is a little different. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm not trying to open up old wounds, the last time we met in the playoffs, they had the better one of us. Now, given we give it away with the drop, but nevertheless, they won that game. And that game still stings for me. Now, people may say, no, I want to see the Rams in the playoffs because now I want to return the favor. So let me ask you that question, Jess. Do you want to see the Rams in the playoffs and return the favor and get them out of the playoffs like they did to us? Or do you wish not to see them at all?
I think this year's 49ers team is unstoppable.
Okay,
So I think
talk your shit.
I think whoever we play, I think we beat them hands down. People may say like, oh, well, what about last year? Blah, blah, blah. Well, we know how that ended in the NFC Championship game. And I think we could officially say that if Brock Purdy stayed in that game last year, we would have won the NFC Championship and we would have went to the Super Bowl and probably won it. But everything happens for a reason. Now, fast forward to this season, we're clearly the best team in the NFL. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a 49ers fan. It definitely is the truth. But I just think whoever we play, whether it's Dallas, Philly again, the Rams, Seahawks, whomever, I think we win because the sky's the limit for us. And I think this is the year.
Absolutely. I just want to welcome Jason, Rick Diaz, Tommy Huxley in the house. What's up, Tommy? We got the young hitter in the house. What's up? Welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I hear you. I hear you. This Niner defense is explosive. It's dangerous, but it is football. And all it takes is one mistake here, one mistake there, and you're out. I don't want to play the Rams. I'm not afraid of the Rams. Please don't get that confused or twisted. I am not afraid of the Rams. The Niners can beat the crap out of them. But I don't want to play the Rams because what if, God forbid, we lay an egg again in the playoffs and we lose to them again? I don't want to hear it from the Ram fans. I really don't. They're too obnoxious for that. So from that perspective, I don't want to play. And I'm not saying we're going to lose, blah, blah, blah. We can kill them.
Well, but you know what? You could say that about like every team, though. Like you don't want to play this one because you don't want to hear it from their fan base. I mean, the Ram, like every team, they're an NFL team, so there is a chance that we lose because you know what? You never know. It's any given Sunday.
Correct.
But the team that we have this season, like I said, the sky's the limit, and I feel that we can match really well against every team, and we can beat every team.
Well, one thing we know for sure, as great as McVay is, and I gave him his flowers earlier, Kyle Shanahan has his number. Kyle Shanahan knows how to play him. And he was beating him in the playoff in the NFC Championship 2 years ago, or whatever it was, 3 years ago, beating his ass. And it was just a mistake from our safety that's no longer with us that dropped a ball that it was, nobody was around him. I don't want to even revisit that because that pisses me off. And people say,
it's
"Wow,
too late. I already went there."
But people always tell me when I bring that up, yeah, but there was a lot of minutes left in the game. People don't realize I study football. I watch the game. I look at film. Yes, there was a little bit of time in the game, but momentum is everything. People don't realize after we dropped that ball by Tart, that same series, the Rams went on and scored on our defense. Okay, we intercept the ball. For the very least, there's 7 points off the board because we intercepted. Let's say we scored and we put up 7 points. Or at the very least, we put up 3 points on that series. So we take off 7 from them. We add 3. That's a 10-point differential. Okay? What did we lose by? 3 points to the Rams in that chat. See where I'm going with this? So my thing is, a lot of things can happen when a play like that happens in our favor. And it happened that he dropped it. I understand. I'm not blaming Tart. I can only imagine the stadium's filled. Everybody's chanting. You're like the focal point. And it's easier to catch it is easier to catch a hard thrown ball than it is to throw a ball that is so easy to catch because
absolutely
you don't have time to think. You react, right? I can imagine Tart had a lot of time to think, oh shit, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Because the ball's in there and you see it and nobody's around you. You're like, oh shit. Because your mind starts, going with you.
Well, you know what? I'm sure the fans were saying the same thing because I know I was with that ball up in the air.
Yeah. So when you catch the ball like on the fly, boom, 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 and you catch the ball, it's a great catch, but it happens so damn quick. He still should have caught it, but there's a reason why he's playing defense and not offense. because players that play on defense, they're mostly there because they can't catch the damn ball for the most part. So it sucks that it was the Rams because honestly, I think no, I don't think I know. I know I don't know the future, so I guess I have to put in as I think. There's no certainty. But if the Niners would have beat the Rams that year, we would have killed the Cincinnati Bengals. Our defense was way better than the Rams. Our pass rusher was better. And the Bengals were hurt all over the place offensively. The Cincinnati Bengals were the better team in that Super Bowl, but they couldn't sustain it because of their offense, and they got to the quarterback, Joe Burrow. I know we would have had our sixth Lombardi, but that's then. This is now. How confident do you feel? I know it's still early. A lot of shit can happen between now and February, but how confident are you this year on winning the chip more than you were last year?
You know, everybody has the same goal every year to win the Super Bowl. I say it every year. This year we're going. I said it last year. We almost went, but almost isn't good enough. This year we're just we're different. We're different. You know, we may have the same weapons, but we're different offensively. Like it's gelling. The offense is gelling differently this year. The defense, I think again we're gelling differently this year. So I definitely think we're going. You know, just being out and about on the street and you know and hearing different people, you know, different fans of different teams saying, you know what, the 49ers are definitely going to the Super Bowl. You know, for them being outsiders looking in, you know, it has like a different type of feel this season. I don't know if you feel that same way.
No, I do. I do. This you know, you got Brock Purdy, his first year in a full year. He's more confident. Listen, I love what Brock Purdy did last year. I love the way he started against Miami. I was a huge, and I'm not going to stay too much on Trey Lance, but I was a huge Trey Lance fan. I wanted the Niners to draft him. I loved his potential.
So was I wanted them to draft him as well.
Yeah, I loved his ceiling. But once I saw Brock Purdy step in against Miami and watch him the way he played, I was sold on Brock Purdy. And those that know me for a long time or been hearing me, I've been chirping Brock Purdy from the Miami game on. But yet, as good as he played and as all the games they won until he got hurt, unfortunately, he still had issues with his footwork. He was still bailing too fast to his left, and he was getting into trouble. Even though they were winning games, he had issues that he needed to correct. He corrected those issues this year. He's stepping up in the pocket instead of bailing to his left, unless he's bailing to make a play. He's stepping into the pocket. His footwork are amazingly different than it was last year. Much better footwork. He's playing with more confidence. He's a completely different quarterback this year than he was last year. So for me, that boasts more confidence this year in winning the chip than last year. Even if we would have beaten the Eagles, I don't know how we would have played against the Chiefs. But now the confidence that I have in Brock Purdy, in this offense, you're right. I don't care who we play in the Super Bowl once we make it there. We are unstoppable. Again, I say it and I'll say it again. The only team that can stop the Niners is injuries or themselves. And as long as they don't have neither one of those, knock on wood, we're unstoppable. Kyle Shanahan, and for those that wanted Kyle Shanahan fired, for those that wanted Steve Wilkes fired, where are you? I couldn't believe that shit that I heard. I don't want to reminisce too much, but when they were on a 3-game slit, losing, fire Steve Wilkes. Oh my God. Do you know he is one of the top defensive coordinators this year? Our defense is what, top 3? top 3, but yet we have a shitty coordinator. Don't you understand that Steve Wilkes was still trying to adjust his philosophy to the Niners? He was trying to put in wrinkles of, okay, what do I want to do from what I bring into this? And what are the Niners doing great that I can use and implement in my game plan? He was trying to figure all that shit out. Okay? This whole notion that he became better because he went from the booth to the field, shut up. It doesn't hurt that he's on the field. Fred Warner is accustomed having his coordinators on the field. So it doesn't hurt. But that wasn't the reason why our defense got better. It was because they made adjustments in the secondary. They took Isaiah Oliver out, they moved Lenore in, and they put Embry Thomas on the outside. And Embry Thomas, given him his flowers right now, he has been playing amazing outside that has kept Lenore inside. And flower to Mooney on that pick 6 last week, taking it to the house and having 2 picks in one game. He deserves it. He's an old pro. He's playing like an old pro. He's going to be an old pro this season. And but that change of that was what made this defense better. It wasn't that he came from the booth to the field. Stop it with that. Does it hurt? No. Was that the reason why they're playing better? No. I want to get your thoughts on that same thing. Do you think our defense is playing better just because he went from the booth to the field, Jess?
I don't think so. I don't think that really mattered. I think it's in your head if you feel that way. I know the guys are used to having, Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans on the sideline and having that rah-rah guy that, you've heard that ad nauseum, throughout, like from, other content creators and stuff like that. But, does it help? Maybe. Is that the sole reason? No. They needed their rest and quite frankly, like tonight they have to get back to their fundamentals. And, the main thing is the tackling. They have to tackle tonight. They have to stay in their lanes. They have to be disciplined. The same way we play the Eagles, with a running quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Kyler Murray, playing against Kyler Murray, we were a little sloppy, with our lanes and stuff like that. I mean, we definitely have to be disciplined tonight.
Yep, I agree. And real quick, Niners throwback. I appreciate your honesty, man. It takes guts.
I'll be right back.
Okay, it takes guts to be. Honest. The fact that you said shame on me. I wanted Steve Wilkes. I can't lie. I was stupid for that. A lot of people wanted him fired. A lot of people wanted him gone. I'm not saying you, but a lot of people went based on their emotions. We were on a 3-game losing streak. And people were like, there goes our playoff. And, we don't have no chance. Oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. And they forget what kind of team we have. They forget that we always come out of adversity better than ever before. We hit adversity last year. We came out of it. We hit adversity the year before by starting slow. We came out of it. We hit a slump, a 3-game slump. We came out of it. Real quick, I want to acknowledge my niece, Ma Lopez, in the house. How you doing, sweetie? Merry Christmas to you, from me to you and your family, from the Niner Now podcast. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Let me go ahead and turn it now. We've been on here for about an hour. I'm going to turn it on I'm going to start answering questions for the players. From all of you in the comments. No, I know what you meant, throwback. And it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Good news. That's an update that I love to hear. Tommy, thank you for sharing that with us today. It seems like Randy Gregory is playing. For the last time I heard, he was dealing with an illness. that he was battling with, and we weren't certain if he was going to play or not. The fact that he's going to play is amazing. Real quick, I haven't, because I've been doing this live, I haven't checked. Tommy, can you let me know if Hargrave is good to go? Let me know if Hargrave is good to go, or anyone in the chat. I would appreciate it. Bebop, what's up, Bebop? Good to see you, my friend.
Hargrave is
Jason?
playing.
Hargrave is playing? Amazing.
Yes.
Where is Jason Verrett? Gonna play outside or special teams? I think Verrett, even if he is called from the practice squad, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's more of a backup than a starter in this game. I think they're going to continue to put Lenore in the inside and Embry Thomas on the outside. Maybe if they'll have a couple of packages for him in there, depending what they're going to do. But I think it's more of, God forbid something happens to one of our, or there's either they struggle or something happens to an injury. We can have Verrett jump in there, but I don't think he's going to play. Let's be honest. If he doesn't play in this game, it's good news. That means Lenore, Ward, and Embry Thomas is having one hell of a healthy game. And that's what you want in my honest opinion. I said, because we're already in an hour in when you were gone, I said we're going to answer some questions of the viewers real quick before we go. So if you have questions, make sure to put a Q before your comment so that I know it's a question and I can answer it. Please add a Q to your question so that I know it's a question, and we'll be happy to answer it for a few minutes before we go.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Verrett is he's on the practice squad. If we don't see him, that's good. I mean, if we do see him, that's great as well. But I think our secondary is the healthiest it's been. I mean, I know Demo Lenore was a little banged up because of his ribs, but he seems to be, obviously trending in the right direction with playing tonight. Mooney Ward is having an all-pro season. With his 2 interceptions against Arizona, I think it just goes up from here. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an interception tonight, to be honest. But I think we win this one. It's going to be a battle tonight. Arguably the 2 best teams in the league. But we obviously pull it out, and we need this win tonight. The team knows how important it is. Their preparation, I know it's Christmas and, but they seem to have a good regimen of, how they were going to go about today, as far as the holiday. And I think we'll be ready to roll.
I 100% agree with that. Let's see if we have any questions. If we don't, then we'll call it when watching this Giants and Eagles.
Yeah, they're definitely not helping. The Eagles are winning 17-3.
Yeah, but they did put pressure on Hurts on that one. So there's still a lot of game to go, but yeah, I mean it's the Giants. I mean the Giants are a terrible team. They have been all year. They're on their 3rd quarterback, and if anybody knows how it feels to be on your 3rd or 4th quarterback, hello, we do. It feels good to be on one quarterback all year this year, right? Before we go, because nobody's bringing up questions, which is fine. Before we go, Jess, I want to get your complete. You were there at the game, in the Cardinals game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I was.
What was your initial thought? Question. I want to hear it from you first. Oh, no, let me. Yeah, from you first, and then I want to hear what the response of the crowd was there, because I'm assuming there was way more Niner fans than there were Cardinal fans in that stadium. The fact that we wore our home colors says it all. But when Brock Purdy went down, what was your initial thought at that precise moment?
Well, for starters, there were a lot of Niner fans. I've been to a lot of games this year, and by far, this was the stadium that had the most, I feel. I was even asked if I sat in like a Niners only section because of how many Niners fans were in my section. That's how, a lot. The stadium was just filled with Niner fans. But when Brock Purdy was hit, man, did I hold my breath. Like I felt like I just got punched in the stomach. And I think that was like the reaction of the entire crowd. And then, you go on Twitter and you see everybody like melting down and stuff like that. And, to be there live, and yeah, he went in the medical tent, and then you see him on the sidelines warming up. It's like I was ecstatic to report that Brock Purdy was warming up, on the sideline, getting ready to come back in, but yeah, it definitely was a scary moment. For sure. He wasn't fined for that hit, which is shocking. But yeah, we definitely dodged a bullet with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can imagine the feeling there in the stadium. But the great thing about being in the stadiums, you get to see things that we don't see on TV. You got to see him warm up. You got to see him shake it out. See, when you're watching it on TV, you only see what they show you, right? So if you're on commercial or if you're this, you got no clue what's happening, right? You're like, he went to the tent. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? That's how important he is to this team. And listen, I'm going to take nothing away from Sam Donald.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Cleo got out. She dug a hole and she got out.
Okay. My dog dug a hole and she's out in the loose in the yard. I gotta shut this down. Sorry about that, Jess, but I gotta go find my dog.
No problem. Go do what
All
you
right,
gotta
guys.
do.
Take care. Sorry for the
Take
quick.
care. Go Niners.
All right, go Niners. Bye.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.